Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by hills and thick forests, there lived a young girl named Nnenna. She was the daughter of a great yam farmer who had passed away many seasons ago. Her father had been known across the land for growing the biggest, most beautiful yams, which he offered during the village's sacred yam festival. The villagers believed the yams pleased the earth gods and brought rain, fertility, and blessings. Nnenna's mother died shortly after her father, leaving her in the care of her stepmother, Mama Ozioma, and two stepsisters, Nnenna and Obianuju. While her stepsisters wore fine wrappers and ate warm meals, Nnenna wore torn clothes and often went to bed hungry. She fetched water from the stream, swept the compound, and pounded yam for the family, yet was never thanked. Though she was mistreated, Nnenna remained kind-hearted and hard-working. Her eyes always carried a quiet strength, and she found joy in singing to herself while doing chores, even if no one noticed. Every year, the people of Yumu's village held the sacred Yam Festival, a day of colorful dancing, drumming, and feasting. Only those who had lived righteously were allowed to bring yams to the festival square, and no one was permitted to harvest yams on that sacred day. It was said that those who broke this law would awaken the anger of the earth gods and suffer terribly. This year, Nnenna hoped to attend the festival, just to watch the dancers and eat roasted yams by the fire. She stitched her old wrapper to look neat and prepared to go quietly after her chores. But Mama Ozioma had different plans. "Where do you think you're going?" The woman asked, her voice sharp like a cutlass. "To the festival, Ma," Nnenna replied softly, looking down at her bare feet. "Festival? For what? With whose permission?" She threw a sack at Nnenna's feet. "Go to your father's old farm and harvest the remaining yams today. And don't return until your sack is full." Nnenna froze. She stared at the sack, then back at Mama Ozioma. "But today is the sacred day. It is forbidden." A hard slap cut her sentence short. "Is it me you are questioning? Do you want to die here, N? You think the earth gods care about a child like you?" Nnenna and Obianuju laughed behind their mother. "Maybe if she brings us enough yams, we'll save her a bone to chew," Nnenna said mockingly. Nnenna's lips trembled, but she nodded silently and picked up the sack. As she stepped out of the compound, her heart beat fast with fear. The villagers would never see her, everyone would be at the festival. If the earth gods were watching, she would be alone. The forest path to the farm was long and winding. The trees whispered in the wind, and the rustling leaves seemed to follow her. Birds stopped singing, and even the monkeys watched silently from the treetops. Nnenna clutched her sack tightly and began to hum softly to keep her fear away. After walking for a while, she heard a weak groan ahead. Her eyes darted around until she saw an old woman lying beside the road. Her wrapper was dusty, her walking stick had rolled away, and her basket of herbs lay scattered. "Help me," the old woman whispered. Nnenna hesitated for a moment. She was already late, and the sacred sun was rising higher. But her heart refused to walk past. She rushed over, helped the woman sit up, and gathered her scattered herbs. Then she used her own headscarf to wipe the woman's dusty face and handed her the walking stick. "Are you hurt, Mama?" Nnenna asked. "No, just tired." "My legs betrayed me," the woman said, smiling faintly. "Thank you, my child. Your heart is good." Nnenna smiled back and helped her lean against a tree. As she turned to leave, the old woman reached into her basket and pulled out a small calabash sealed with palm leaves. "Take this, Nnenna," she said. "Inside are yam seeds. Plant them with love and honesty. But remember, they will only grow for a heart as pure as yours." Nnenna opened her mouth to ask how the woman knew her name, but the woman was already gone, vanished like morning mist. Chills ran down Nnenna's back, but she carefully placed the calabash inside her sack and continued to the farm. At her father's old farm, the soil was dry and the yam mounds looked forgotten. Nnenna dug for hours under the hot sun, but found only a few shriveled tubers. She looked at her empty sack inside. Then, remembering the old woman's calabash, she knelt and whispered a quiet prayer before planting the enchanted seeds. The moment the seeds touched the soil, The ground trembled softly. Within seconds, thick yam vines shot out of the earth, twirling and twisting around each other. From the mounds sprouted enormous yams covered in shimmering gold. The sunlight bounced off them, painting the farm in dazzling light. Nnenna gasped. She knelt and wept, not out of fear, but in awe. She filled her sack with the golden yams and hurried home, grateful but overwhelmed. By the time she reached the compound, the festival drums had ended, and the villagers were returning. When Mama Ozioma saw the yams, her eyes widened. Where did you get this from?" she stammered. "I found a kind woman," Nnenna said truthfully. "She gave me special seeds." The next morning, news spread like wildfire. The chiefs came to Mama Ozioma's house, wanting to see the girl with the golden yams. Nnenna was brought before the elders and questioned. After hearing her story, they declared the miracle a sign from the gods. Nnenna was gifted land, fine wrappers, beads, and a large hut of her own. For the first time in her life, she ate at the chief's table, and children from all around the village came to listen to her songs and stories. But Mama Ozioma burned with jealousy. "So this worthless girl has become rich before my eyes," she hissed. "She thinks she's special?" That night, she sent her daughters to the same farm with a sack and empty calabash, telling them to pretend to help someone along the road, just in case the old woman appeared. The girls walked the path, grumbling and kicking stones. Soon, they saw the same old woman sitting by a tree, pretending to be weak again. "Help me, please," she said softly. The sisters looked at each other and forced fake smiles. "Of course, Mama," Obianuju said, pretending to adjust the old woman's wrapper. "We are kind daughters." But their laughter and mockery gave them away. "I see," the old woman said, her eyes glowing slightly. "You came for seeds, not to help." She handed them a calabash anyway. "Plant these only with pure hearts." The girls snatched it and rushed to the farm. They buried the seeds greedily, laughing about the fortune they would soon have. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Instead of golden yams, thorny vines erupted, followed by snakes, scorpions, and angry red ants. The girls screamed and ran, dropping their sacks as stinging insects chased them back to the village. Mama Ozioma's disgrace became the village's laughter. Her daughters, covered in welts and scratches, stayed indoors for weeks. No one came to visit them. They were forgotten. As for Nnenna, she built a yam barn bigger than any in the village. But more importantly, she built a free school for girls who had been denied education like she once was. She taught them farming, reading, and kindness. She became known not for her riches, but for her heart. And every yam festival, Nnenna danced at the center of the square, dressed in white and gold, offering her biggest yams to the earth gods in memory of her parents and the kind spirit who rewarded her pure heart. A heart full of kindness can grow riches deeper than gold, while greed only harvests shame.